Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about how blogs and social media can be used to enhance the classroom learning experience. So, to start, I took a look at Holly Clark and her blog called The Infused Classroom. And so I found this cute little infographic about the water cycle on her Instagram page, and I thought this was a really good idea to be used for honestly any subject. Infographics can be used for any subject, and it's a good way to get students to be creative on their computer. I would suggest using this for probably 4th grade and up, just because of the components that it takes to kind of create a piece like this. And then the website to go along with that to help use or create an infographic would be Canva. There's lots of free templates on this website that make it easy to create. The second educational blogger is Richard Byrne. And on his Instagram, I found he had made a post regarding this interactive worksheet. And I have honestly never seen something like this, so I thought this was pretty interesting. Instead of just handing a student a worksheet and a pencil to complete an assignment, we educators can create something online and assign it to them on their computers, and they can create or complete the worksheet that way. And honestly, this worksheet or interactive worksheet could be used for any grade level, any subject. The content would need to be tailored to the specific subject and grade level. And then, so this is just the website that kind of goes along with that. There's lots of templates on here to go off of, or if you create an account, you can create your own digital worksheet. The third EdTech blogger was Eric Curtis, and I saw this Twitter post that he had made regarding AI tools for educators. And so this specific one is, again, kind of an interactive worksheet, but this uses the Snorkel website. And so again, educators can create a worksheet, assign it to students, but then this one gives them real-time feedback and suggestions on their work as the students are working on it. Again, this could be used for any grade level and content. Again, it would just need to be tailored to the specific grade level. The next blogger is Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook, and I saw this post that he had made in regards to no prep subplans, time-saving templates, and honestly saving teacher pay teachers money. So within those, here is the no prep subplans. There's just a whole bunch of different templates to use to help create subplans to make educators' lives easier. This is the back to school templates, just helps saving some time in that craziness during the back to school season in those first couple weeks of school. So like there's classroom procedures, meet the teacher, newsletters, name tags, a whole bunch of different stuff that is a good resource to have. And then the last one is just worksheets on and saving money from Teachers Pay Teachers, and these are all, again, linked into Canva. So like I said, this is just a good resource to keep in the back of your mind, and just to have on hand. And these resources can be used, they're more educator resources, so again, these can be used for any grade level. The next educator blogger is Tony Vincent, and I found this Google Forms template from Ditch That Textbook. And so, again, oops, there we go. This again is another good resource for educators, just a whole bunch of different templates for surveys, check-ins, student data, again, just saving educators time. And then the next one is Jennifer Gonzalez. And as I was scrolling her Twitter account, I came across this, educators using memes to help teach and engage students. And I think this would be great for upper grade levels, so like 6th through the 12th grades. Just to kind of get them, here's the resource for that, using memes, but just to kind of get them engaged and interactive. Kids those age are always on their phones, so they know all of the different terms and technologies, some of which we may not even know. But the important thing to keep in mind with using memes to help is just to make sure the content is appropriate and going along with what you are teaching. So then, when I did some research on these bloggers, I found this AI tool to help struggling readers. So you can upload a passage to Microsoft, and it will go out to the students, and it will, again, they can record themselves reading, and then it can give them real-time feedback. And then I said this kind of goes along with the educator standard, ISTE standard of the 2.6B facilitator, the Fostering Classroom Management of Tech, because the educators are managing the use of the technology and the student learning strategies. From Richard Byron, I found this AI slide generator. Again, another good resource for educators to have just to help save time creating slides and PowerPoints. This is just a good resource to have to help save time when creating those slides. And I said that resource goes along with the educator standard of 2.5B, design authentic learning activities. Using this can just help create those authentic learning activities for different students. From Eric Curtis, I found this Chromebook resource, and this is again for educators. Students mainly are using Chromebooks, and sometimes they know more about them than what teachers do. I work at the school I work at, kids use Chromebooks, and I'm constantly like, how did you do this? Or what did you do to get your screen to look like this? So this is just a good resource, I think, to kind of review and keep refreshed in the mind, to know what maybe students are doing on their Chromebooks and how they are getting to certain things, or even changing their screens different colors. And so then again, I said that resource kind of goes along with educator standard of 2.6 facilitator, that Fostering Classroom Management of Tech, where educators are managing that use of the technology because they know how the student technology is working. From Matt Miller, I found this graphic organizer template. Again, another resource for educators to help save time creating slides and templates. There's a whole bunch of different options on this website to kind of help create different slides and templates. And so this one, again, I said goes along with the educator standard of 2.5 designer, 2.5 designer A, accommodating the learner differences. Using these templates, you can change and adapt the slides to kind of incorporate those different learning experiences for students. From Tony Vincent, I found this really cool vocabulary tool. So you can put these vocabulary words into this wheel, and honestly, you could use this a whole bunch of different ways, create different games with this, but this is just a good way to incorporate vocabulary. I know when I was in school and I was learning vocab words, I just got handed a packet and said, here, learn these words, know what they mean. We're taking a test on them at the end of the week. And then we didn't go over any of those words in class. So this would just be a good way to kind of incorporate those vocabulary words in the classroom in an engaging way for students. So then I said, again, this one goes along with that 2.5B, designing authentic learning activities. This is just a different way to kind of incorporate that technology piece, but then also a different way for students to apply their vocab knowledge. And then from Jennifer Gonzalez, she made a post about group work and how to kind of go about group work and structures of group work. And again, this is a resource for educators just to kind of keep in mind when like choosing partners or groups randomly, like just gives some good information about group work and different ways to go about creating groups and assigning groups for those group work. And so then I said that resource goes along with the 2.6 facilitator, that fostering student ownership of learning, because of the group work, the students are kind of taking ownership of their own learning, and again in independent and group settings. And then I found my own blog called Class Tech Tips, and this was just creative ways to incorporate brain breaks. The classroom I'm in right now does brain breaks all the time, and it's constantly just, YouTube videos on TV or on the computer that we post on the screen. Some kids like them, some kids don't, but this podcast just kind of gives some different ideas instead of just watching YouTube videos. Like right here, you can do quick draw and story starters, yoga stretches, but yeah, music, coloring pages. I just thought this was a good resource to kind of give some different ideas in regards to movement breaks. So with that, that is all I have for this blogs and social media.